Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. How are your class? Hope so. You are doing well. It's my first lecture with you people, and hope so. It will be a good time for us. The subject that is assigned to me is sociolinguistic, and what is sociolinguistics is a scientific study with relation to society. But before moving toward what is a sociolinguistics and what are its types, I am going to show you the tree structure of linguistics, from where it comes, sociolinguistics. So see, here is a tree diagram of linguistics, and linguistics is the scientific study of a language, and language is a mean of communication. You know very well about it, and hope so you have learned these things before I am here. As we know that language is a mean of communication, and the linguistic is the scientific study of a language where the practical implementations is being assessed. And in linguistics we have further two major types, and first one micro linguistics and the second one macro linguistics. And the purely macro linguistics considered as applied linguistics. And what is applied linguistics? And actually we concern that applied linguistics mean where the practical implementations of linguistics are being observed. So we know very well society is a place where any type of implementations can be observed here. So if a linguistics is performed in with respect or in a society, so definitely the practical implementation of linguistic is being associated with that society. And sociolinguistics is the part of macro linguistics and the applied linguistics. The major terms and the major types of macro linguistics that we have: sociolinguistics and psycholinguistics, neurolinguistics, and anthropological linguistics. Language acquisition, just like first language acquisition and second language acquisition. In micro, we learn about phonology, morphology, syntax, and semantics. And we have other branches as well, just like lexicology and comparative linguistic and historical linguistics. Just it's the tree structure of the linguistics and the tree phenomena where the all the major types of linguistics comes from. And just do remember, linguistics is comes out from language, and language is the means of communication and the tools of communication, or its arbitrary systems of symbols and signs and gestures where we express our thoughts, feelings, emotions, and passions. And linguistics, as I informed you earlier, that linguistic is the scientific study of a language, and the applied linguistics is the implementation of that scientific study with respect to society, with respect to any other aspects of our human society. Let's move off towards our topic, that is sociolinguistics. In today's lectures, we will take a look what is the sociolinguistics and the different definition of sociolinguistics and the field of sociolinguistics. And in definitions, varieties of language, language in contact, and language maintenance and shift, and the change of language or language plannings. These are the major part of sociolinguistics that we have in different lectures. So first, in today's lectures, we just introduce sociolinguistics and some of the aspects of sociolinguistics, just like what is sociolinguistic and what is the spoke, and what are the most prominent features of sociolinguistics. Just do remember, sociolinguistics is a study of linguistic with respect to society. How we get and how we drive the meaning with, and how we drive that linguistic with association of any society. So let's move toward, just in order to see the different concepts and different phenomena of socio linguistics, how it's different from different aspects. Just move toward the first, because it's a part of linguistics. So just know what is a linguistic. As linguistic, the scientific study of a language. the scientific study of human language, language meaning, and form and context. So, sociolinguistic is the study of language in relation to society. Hudson defined it 1996. Or different or contrast between a sociolinguistic and sociology of a language. Sociolinguistic, its main focus is society on language, while sociology of language, its main focus is language effects on society. Sociolinguistic just turns and just put a focus over the society and its use on a language, while sociology of language just puts a focus of language and its effects on society. In sociolinguistics, we can never ever try to learn, and we can never ever put our focuses on the effect of language in society. But in sociology of language, we just try to imitate and try to find out all the effect and the causes and the reasons that come forward, that are being associated with the society, just due to the learns of language, just due to the implementation of language. After that, we have the most prominent characteristic of sociolinguistics as defined by Conway in 1993. First of all, it's the branch of linguistic. How the most prominent aspect, the characteristic is it's a linguistic, and it's associated with branch of linguistics. After that, the second characteristic of sociolinguistics that we have, it's put a relationship between language and society. The most second important characteristic of sociolinguistic is it maintain relate, or it show the relationship between language and society. The first one is branch of linguistic, and the second one, it's put relationship, it maintain a bridge, it maintain a way between language and society. How language and society is emerged, or how is the association of language and society. It is the basic concern of sociolinguistic. It means sociolinguistics answers and shows the relationship of language and society. At third level, sociolinguistic considered that language is a social and a cultural phenomena. The most prominent aspect, we can never ever judge a language without society. If we have no society, it means we have no language. According to sociolinguistics and according to the phenomena of uh, language learners, that it is necessary for a language to speak, to have a society, to have a culture, to have a phenomena. If we have no culture, if we have no society, it's mean if we have no society, we have no people. If we have no people, we have no sayings. It means we have no language. It is the third most important characteristic of sociolinguistic is it's that it's a social and cultural phenomena is being associated with sociolinguistics. It means language, for a language, it is necessary for a language to have a society. The fourth most important characteristic of sociolinguistics, it tells us about the societal context and the real life experience and real life situations. And it also helps us to investigate the societal aspect, the societal variations and the investigation of their society. Just do remember that if sociolinguistics is not here in our society, to the most of the context and of real life, we can never ever judge. We are not in a position, or we were not in a position to assess the context of a real life experience if we do not have a single aspect of sociolinguistics in our life. At fifth level, it also helps to relate the methodology and the content of social sciences with language. what is a methodology of content of social sciences. It also helps to find out the queries and questions and the most phenomena and the methods and the content of societal sciences. If if we want to look into the societal context, then sociolinguistics will help us to relate, to find out, and just to put out the consequences of the methodology of the social sciences. And what are the fields of sociolinguistics? Most concerns that we have five prominent aspects of sociolinguistics. First one of the variety of languages, and the second one language in contact, and third one language maintenance and shift, and the fourth one language change, and the fifth one language planning. Or hope so that we have different lectures over it, that but in today lecture we just a brief introduction of these things, how these things can be entitled or can be emerged in the field of sociolinguistics. Let's move to the first one, variety of language. No doubt, no doubt, we have a standard variety of any language. Just like what is standard variety? The variety that is used by government, that is used by media, that is used by communication and taught in schools, colleges, and universities or educational institutions. Language can be found in different standards, different varieties, but the basic standard of a variety, it should be that that is used by the that is being used by the government, media, communication in schools and universities. We have different variants, we have different varieties of one language, but all the varieties can never ever be entitled by any government or by any organization or any educational institutions. Different varieties might be possible to have by one language, but the standard variety is a variety that is maintained, that is governed, that is used, that is implemented by the government of that society, by the media of that society, or that is being used by as a communication of by that society, or that is being implemented in our educational systems. Hope so you are understanding my point. Actually, variety of language means to one language, just like language that we have Urdu language, but with some areas of Lahore, even the some areas of Pakistan, we utilize Punjabi words in Urdu language, we utilize English word in Urdu languages, even that we have some Saraiki words even in Mewati words in Urdu languages. But these are the different varieties and different contexts of Urdu language. But the actual form of Urdu language and the standard variety is considered the variety that is ruled, that is governed, that is being implemented by government, universities, schools, and education systems. Just like see the things that English, as we know very well, English has a different varieties of a language. My hair needs combing. It's one regional dialect or geographical dialect. Say, my hair needs to be combed, and my hair needs combed. These are the different standard of a language. But variety of language spoken by people living in area is considered as a regional dialect. We have different dialects, different geographical dialect of a language. One language might be possible to entitled with the different dialects, and dialect is where we have geographical or regional boundaries. Even that the North American people use sentences, my hair needs combing, but it comes, my hair needs to be combed in the mid north. Even the North American, at the corner, at the border side, they utilize my hair needs combing, but the same North American people, but at the center of the North America, they utilize my hair needs to be combed instead of my hair needs combing. In the mid north, and my hair needs combed in the south, In the South America, my hair needs combed is being used instead of my hair needs to be combed or my hair needs combing. Just it's the dialects that are associated with the language. These are the further examples of the dialects that are being derived from different languages, and you can take a look over that. Or some we have others social dialects on the form of a dialects. Uh, if in our native country, just like India, we have a different forms of language that are characterized the speech of different social classes. Even some upper classes don't allow to use their languages to the lower classes, just like Brahman and non-Brahman. They are very much conservative, and they are very much traditional while utilizing their standard of language. Even they don't they don't think them equal. Brahman can never be equal to the non-Brahman, and non-Brahman can never be considered as a Brahman, and there is a class differences, and the languages also implemented while utilizing the same differences in their society. There are quite difference in Indian languages between the speech of Brahmins and non-Brahmins castes. The Brahman word to say milk is halu, while the non-Brahman says alu. It's mean the standard of a people maintain or the standard of their languages. Even just not we are talking about Europe, we are talking about Asian countries, and just we know very well about Indian concept or Indian context, and we learn these things in our previous classes as well, that there are a lot of class discriminations in Indian society. Just like see the difference between the concept Brahman and non-Brahman lifestyles, and their gestures and their poses, and it's the clear image that indicates the different variations and different varieties of living standards. And we learned that, and we know very well about the languages in India, or Indian communities, just especially related to Brahman peoples. They maintain their standard language, while the non-Brahman peoples are not allowed to utilize words that are being associated with Brahman languages. So there is a clear-cut discrimination between Brahmin and non-Brahman languages. So we can say the standard type of Brahman language is different from the standard type of non-Brahman languages. So it's very much associated that we have a different variety of one languages. One languages have different standards according to society's norms and customs and traditions. After that, we have a register. Register, what is a register? The term widely used in sociolinguistics to refer to varieties according to use to describe specific vocabulary associated with the different occupational group, language of doctors, engineers, journals, legals. One word can be entitled with the different associations, different word meanings, and the same language can be interpreted by differently. Actually, it's a functional variety of any languages. Registers are the functional varieties of any languages, or that is being assessed, or that is being utilized, or that is being implemented by different professions. So, squad, meaning small group of people working as a team, or just even that same concept, aggregate or total score of each two clubs after play in first and second leg of match and leg round of the game. Actually, these are the register that are used by a specific set of peoples, and thereby a match between two clubs which come from a same city. Hat trick, or action of scoring three goals in single match, just considered as a hat trick. Or injury time added in normal times. Actually, I want to express that registers are the varieties of standards. that are association of that are associated with the functions, that are associated with the functional use of any language. The second concept that we have, that is language in contact. And language in contact, how language is being associated with the peoples. The first one, we have two different. The first in first at first sight we learn about what is a Pidgin and what is a Creole, a language which has no native speaker. It developed as a means of communication between people who do not have a common language. Just like a language which has no native speakers, it developed as a means of communication between people who do not have a common language. It means if there are two people belonging to two different countries, the countries where the English is not their first language, or English is not their common language, but they utilize English as a mean of communication, it means they are doing the Pidgin. Pidgin is Juba Arabic spoken in southern Sudan. Or just like as I put in examples, if there are two people, one is Chinese and second one is Pakistani, and they both know Urdu and Chinese, and they know little bit about English language, and they use English just as a source of communication, just as a means of communication. The process of that English communication is considered as Pidgin. If Creole as a Pidgin which has acquired a native speaker, if that Creole, if that Pidgin got married, if that Pidgin got married, and they utilize their languages as a Pidgin, and their just their sons or their children and their generation be considered as a Creole. Are you getting my point? If two different people belonging to different countries, and they don't know the language of each other, and they utilize English language as a means of communication and the source of communication, just like one man is from Pakistan and woman from China, and they don't know about their own languages, the languages of the both people. Chinese woman does not know about Urdu language, and Pakistani men do not know or does not know about Chinese language, and they utilize English as a means of communication. After some time, they got married. The process of communication is considered as Pidgin. Or after that, if they got married and they have or they will have a generation, and generation will utilize English as a native language or as a acquired languages, and the people acquiring that process considered as a Creole. It means that the generation of Pidgin is considered as a Creole. It means the generation and the children of Pidgin considered as a Creole language. After that, we have the use of more than one language during a single communication event. It's mean as considered as code switching. Changes from one languages to another languages. Within a language, within a dialect, you are shifting from one language to another language, changing from one language or dialect to another sentence or utterance in one language, just in order to exchanging of the dialect, just like exchanging of from switching from one language to another languages. If code switching means changes from one language or dialect to another sentences or utterance in one language. If you are utilizing a long conversation, the one sentence is in Urdu and second sentence is in English, you are doing code switching. Or if you are doing code mixing, it's mean in a one sentence you just utilize one phrase in Urdu and second phrase in English. Just it's the concept of a code mixing. If you are shifting sentences to sentences or utterance to utterance, then it's a code switching. Or if you are shifting from within a sentence or within a phrases or within the words, it means you are doing code mixing. Hope so. After that, we will the next part or the rest of the things in the next lecture. Thanks for bearing me. If you have any question, you can ask and you can put. Or hope so. Thank you. Take care.